All right, guys, I'm going to respond to some of my comments I get on my videos live. I was gone for a couple months, took a little hiatus, I guess you can say. And now I am back. I am going to be covering the news. Hopefully, going to be able to put out at least 2 to 3 videos a day, guys, covering things I think are relevant in the news. And, a lot of times I can't get to all of the comments because there's a lot of them. I manage my YouTube, then I have my Facebook and my Instagram. So managing and reading all the comments and responding to all the comments, I do my best, guys. I try to respond to some of them when I catch them. But since I have just recently gotten back on YouTube, I never really went anywhere. I was there the entire time. I just didn't post. I'm going to respond to some of these comments because I am glad I am back, and I'm glad you guys are glad I am back. So let's go through some of these comments, and comment down below. Let me know what's up, what's been different in your life. Linda Taylor says, glad you are back with us. Thank you for the information tonight for our country and family. Yes, hey, thank you, Linda. Thank you for watching. You are welcome for the information. I do my best. Tammy says, it's so nice you're back. Well, hey, Tammy, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you think it's nice I'm back. It's nice to have people be happy that you are back. It just really is. It's just nice when people are so welcoming. I appreciate that. Maga Tamara, she's one of the ones that is still a member. She's still a member. I took 2 months off. There's some people out there that are still members, and I appreciate those people so much. She said, it's great to see you. Don't forget to vote May 6th. I suggest Mike Cox. Okay. All right, MAGA. Vote May 6th for Mike Cox. I'm on board with that one. Planet Home says, genuine insanity. Next time, do not allow to deplane. He's talking about, I guess, these Democrats who were denied meeting with Albrego Garcia. And they were begging for a meeting because there's nothing Democrats like more than MS-13 gang members for some reason. A lot of people said it had to do with the fact that they're trying to farm votes from the Latina community, and that makes sense to me. Rex Holbrook said they need to keep them. I agree. Stay in El Salvador. Put them in the CCOT prison. Put those Democrats in the CCOT prison. We don't need them. These are supposed to be like representatives of citizens of the United States, but it seems like a lot of times our representatives just do the exact opposite. They're representing something else. They're not representing people here in the United States. They're representing I don't even know what to call it. They're trying to make moves where they can gain more power. They can gain more influence. They are not representing American people. And I think that is very problematic. And this is not something that just happens on the left. This happens on the right too. And it infuriates me because the average American, they go to their jobs. They're trying to make money and make a life for themselves and their family. And they're faced with this dichotomy, Republican or Democrat, conservative or liberal. And they think, I can vote for the Republican because that's good. Or some people say, I can vote for the Democrat and that's good. Meanwhile, there are bad, nasty players in both parties who are simply out for power, money, influence, and they will do whatever they can to get that power, money, and influence. And they sound good, they look good, but when you actually take a microscope to their actions or to how they vote, you realize that a lot of times what they are doing is going against your own principles. And this is true for both the left and the right, more pronounced right now on the left, of course. I think there's worse players on the left right now, but that's not always the case. So yes, all of New York, not just the city. It's talking about Andrew Cuomo, too sweet. Thank you for your comment. Andrew Cuomo is finally being brought to justice. Yes. You are right. I think I did say in that video, New York City. And, the reason for that is sometimes when I'm talking about New York, I think of the city automatically. And I do know the rest of New York is much better than the city. But I associate New York with the city, and sometimes it slips out of my mouth. Okay, so that's what that was. Rebecca Sanchez says they lie when they say that the people are calling, asking them to support the criminal. Yes, that is true. Vinda W9614 says we should check all judges' houses. This is correct. This is one of the craziest stories I think I have seen in a long time. This Trinidad Aragua gang member caught living at a judge's house. Can you get any crazier than that? I mean, literally, this is a judge in New Mexico. Trinidad Aragua gang member was living at his house. And after he was caught, he stepped down from being a judge. You can't make this stuff up. Michelle, yes, my favorite moderator, Michelle. I am not back live streaming. Hopefully, one day soon I will. She says, gee, Pete Hegseth isn't a warmonger like some of the others. Thank God for that. Finally, we have someone in charge with a good head on his shoulders. But I really do hope that Laura Loomer does a deep dive into Mike Waltz. I believe he's a leaker too. I do too. I do too. Laura Loomer, yeah, she went really hard on a lot of these people in the Trump administration. And I'm not really sure which ones she had a hand in the White House firing. Because there were some that were connected to Pete Hegseth, what was it that guy's name that just did an interview with Tucker Carlson. I had known of that guy, and I do believe that was a mistake. I think he was anti-war. I think he was America first. So I don't know how he got in on the mix of being fired. So yeah, I hope Laura Loomer does a deep dive into Mike Waltz. Mike Waltz is a neocon. I'm friends with Loomer to a certain degree. I guess you could say kind of a distant acquaintance. I know her. We talk from time to time. It's been a while since I've talked to her. So I'm not going to just hit her up and be like, hey, look into Mike Waltz. You know, we don't have that kind of relationship. But she needs to look into some more of these people. But we'll see. I agree. Mike Waltz, it's really odd how they went after Pete Hegseth for something that was ostensibly Mike Waltz's fault. And that kind of says a lot. Why aren't they going after Waltz? They're going after Hegseth. I think that kind of shows you that Mike Waltz might not be technically on our side. Joseph Labard says it's been over 6 years and we need closure. Talking about this Andrew Cuomo situation. I 100% agree. Yes. That was just a massive tragedy during the COVID years. NVOUS says, I'll believe it when I see him in there. Yeah, sometimes I have to put a title that makes people want to click it. I think they call it something. What do they call it? When you put something in the title that makes people just want to click the video? What is it called again? You guys let me know. Christy, yes, Christy, she did a super thanks. I think that's what you call it. $50 super thanks. I mean, come on, Christy. Thank you so much. I did reply to this one, but I had to do it in the video too. She said, thanks. So glad you're back. They're making it easier to spot the lizard people. And yes, they are. It appears so. Klaus Schwab, that's his name, not Charles. He was just the perfect representation of the World Economic Forum. He looks like a villain, and it's like they play into these conspiracy theories. I don't know why. I don't know if they do this on purpose or if these are just the types of people. They look like this. They're the types of people that are made to be in those positions. Because now this new guy, he's got like this bloodshot eye. He just looks wild. But Christy, thank you so much for your super thanks. Those are always very much appreciated, especially now that I'm trying to build back up my numbers, build back up my channel. It's slow, guys. It's slow. Mike Stevenson says, great. Hey, Mike. Yes, it is great. Mike Cuomo or Andrew Cuomo being recommended for criminal charges. Greek Pappy says, when Obama won, I said to myself, oh, well, better luck next time, GOP. And life went on. These people are nuts. Responding to Rosie O'Donnell breaking silence about Donald Trump and Project 2025 in the United States. Yes. That's the rational person's reaction. But it seems like the stakes are kind of slowly being ratcheted up lately. Everything is life and death. And I don't necessarily think there's nothing to that. I think the bad actors are being exposed, and things are getting a little less gray and a little bit more black and white. But to flee to the United States, if you think that something very dire is happening to your country, instead of trying to ensure that nothing terrible happens or trying to advocate for something good to happen in your country, kind of says more about you than what is actually going on in the country. Like, for instance, Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, she's an American, right? I guess I don't really know the history of Rosie O'Donnell, but I assume that she was born in the United States and everything. And then she just up and leaves because she thinks the United States is being burned to the ground or something like that. And she really doesn't think that. She doesn't think that. She just doesn't like what is happening. And she lives in this bubble where she's a celebrity. She has all her needs met. And she doesn't really understand the average person and why this is necessary. And you see this on the left quite a bit. These individuals who live in a bubble and they have no clue. Like, the reality of a working class, normal person is so out of the realm of reality for them. They have no clue. All of these, our life, the way we live, the work we do, they're only abstract concepts to them. So they have no clue what's even going on. So it's apparent in their actions and what they say that they have no clue. So they got to live within their own perspective and their own reality. And, they don't rub shoulders or talk with people that are working class. So it's obvious. They just come from a completely different world. And when you look at their actions, they might seem weird to you. But when you think about it in their perspective, it's perfectly normal to them because they live in a extremely shielded off world from anything really bad. This is why, she's talking about she had to discuss with her therapist before she went to Ireland. It's just like, can any of you guys imagine having like a therapist that you go to once or twice a week or however many times she goes to, and every decision you run it by your therapist? It's like these rich, well-off people. It's almost like they have to have like a parent figure in their life to help them with decisions. And I don't know. It's just that it just blows my mind. And this is not me busting on therapists, because I'm sure there are cases where therapists are helpful and needed, but I think it's overprescribed, just like a lot of drugs, just like a lot of pharmaceutical drugs. User TN8CI6WG5K says, now we just got to wait 4 years for Pam Bondi to do something. Yes, you are correct. I should be liking these as I go through. Yes, I mean, Pam Bondi, Pam Bondi has been kind of a disappointment to me. I completely agree. This Epstein thing, very disappointing, where she tried to gaslight everyone to say the Epstein files are on her desk, and then that was a giant nothing burger. So I'm not really sure. Gary says this happened. It happened in Michigan also. Gary Beckert. Hey, thanks, Gary, for your comment talking about the nursing home situation. Rube Do 2075 says they're seeking attention. At least they are on the news now. Yeah. I have a feeling that this whole situation is going to be dying out. It just was not a good look. I don't think it polled very well for Democrats. They're still trying to claim that he wasn't an MS-13 gang member, even though I think there were 3 different institutions that ruled he was. Maryland Police Gang Unit said he was. There was a court and an appeals court that said he was. So it's just like, what do you want to go off of? Number one, going against him, he's an illegal. Number two, he has 3 different sources that say he is a MS-13 gang member. And these sources, like I said, are the police gang unit in Maryland, some court and then an appeals court. I forgot what court it was exactly. But this was prior to Donald Trump. So this is not something that they can say, well, oh, this is because of Donald Trump. You know, these are people. This is not just like an intelligence agency under Trump's reign or under Trump's rule saying he's an MS-13 agent or MS-13 gang member. This is before Trump. So they don't really have anything to say. And they're flying to El Salvador to meet with this guy. It just blows my mind. You know, what are they doing? They're burning their party to the ground, which I'm okay with. Go ahead and do it. But Bonzo Doc T6 says, and it had better come from their own pocket and not taxpayers' dimes. I'm not sure about this trip. I know it wasn't approved because apparently it was not an officially sanctioned meeting in El Salvador. So this might have come from a different source, not the taxpayer, and that may have been why they weren't allowed to meet with Albrego Garcia. I mean, 99.9% sure it didn't come out of their own pocket. Probably came from some NGO or some nonprofit or something like that, because these these politicians, they pay for nothing out of their own pocket. And that's for sure. That you can take that to the bank. Tom Dooley says, keep him from holding office again. Talking about Andrew Cuomo. Yeah, he is running for mayor. So there is a possibility that he could be in office again. So interesting times. Doug Story said they are all fools and all 5 should be charged in the Logan Act charge. Yes, I have read that. But will they? Probably not. Okay, let's see if we can find a couple other ones. Corporal Oreo, CPL, does that stand for corporal? Says he already had due process and there was already an order for deportation on him. Yes. I read something where, so they're saying that they halted a deportation order, and this is why it was a mistake for Trump to deport him. But apparently that deportation order was halted for Venezuela, not to El Salvador, not El Salvador. So technically, there is no mistake. That lawyer who argued, who said it was a mistake, he was the one that made the mistake. So you can look that up on Twitter. I saw that just recently. I think Robert Guevara posted something about it. Thomas Alexander said the best nature is therapy, or the best therapy is nature. Sit under a tree 5 minutes to an hour daily helps a lot. I agree. Some people just need to touch grass. I'm one of those people. I don't touch a lot of grass. I need to touch more grass. All right, let's scroll through here so we can find a spicy one. Let's look at combat veteran U.S. Navy. Says all he needs to say is I followed listed protocol, then answer questions that have nothing to do with the security topic. The last thing he needs to do is grovel to the mainstream liberal criminal media. I agree. Pete Hegseth. Because every time he opens his mouth, all the media does is, or Twitter, the liberals, all they do is accuse him of being drunk, which is, I mean, whatever. I mean, throw your mud. It's just kind of ridiculous to me. Corporal Oyo says that's like Fruit Loops. They're all the same, just different colors. Yes, it's a trick. These chemicals trick people. They're bad for you. They trick people. Guys, I don't even like drinking tap water. I mean, that might sound crazy. I have my own like water filter, and I also have my own like ice maker. It makes ice. I put filtered water in the ice maker, and it makes filtered water ice. Okay, if you look here, the ice cubes, or they're like ice nubs, I guess you could call it. That comes from my filtered water ice, because my refrigerator makes ice, but the water in the refrigerator does not get filtered the way I like it. I use a Berkey filter. Okay, that's a plug for Berkey, but it's supposed to filter out all of the chemicals and heavy metals, fluoride from the water. That's what I drink. So I'm deep in Maha. Okay, I might not talk about Maha a lot, but I've lived Maha since I was a kid. Well, my mom, I guess you can say, she's like the original Maha crunchy mom. Okay, I didn't eat a whole lot of candy. Very always into these new health food stuff. And I got away from it for a little bit, and then I came back. I was like, you know what? There's something to that. So seeing Robert F. Kennedy Jr. go after the FDA, not really go after the FDA, but go after our food supply to try to take out these chemicals, I think is just one of the best things that could happen to the United States. I think it's extremely important. Cannot be understated. Michelle says, I wish they would go after the other 5 governors as well who saw their parents and grandparents die alone. These governors knew exactly what they were doing. Yes, I forgot all of the states that did it. I know one of the other comments said Michigan. I remember Colorado and New York. Those are the 3 that I remember. I don't remember the other. I guess there's 2 others, but they need to, because that seems like just complete negligence, right? Negligence. That's a legal term. When you're putting extremely sick people by extremely susceptible people. I mean, how is that not negligence? So I don't know what kind of legal avenue the families of these people can go through to get any justice. I haven't really heard much of it. This is the first time I've heard about the situation since it happened, really. Let's read three more. Let's read 3 more. Coolissimo69 says, Andrew will not eat the bugs, or will he? Well, it kind of depends. Depends on the context. I guess it depends on how hungry I am. If I'm starving, I will eat Z-bugs. That's the whole thing. Maybe I have eaten Z-bugs. I don't know, because you don't know if the bugs are in something you eat. Hopefully not. But generally, I will not. I am 100% against eating Z-bugs. I don't care what health benefits they say they have. I don't care how much protein they say they have. I'm a red meat chicken type of guy. Okay. I like red meat. I like steak. I like burgers. I like pizza. I like chicken. That's the best stuff out there. I like a nice chicken salad. I mean, not like a sandwich, but like lettuce, romaine lettuce. You get chicken, you get tomatoes, you get cucumber. Put some oil and vinegar on it, Parmesan cheese, and you mix it all up, shred the chicken, salt and pepper. That is just incredible. Nice, medium rare to rare ribeye. Amazing. I like pot roast. So bugs, it's not really in my diet. I have no intention on changing, okay? Army Vet Girl says it doesn't take 1 to 2 years to remove anything from the food supply. They're letting them continue to use stock market, making profit while continuing to make us sick. Well, at least for the next couple years. So make that make sense, America. I mean, yes. I mean, listen, at this point, I think a lot of people are like, we'll take anything we can get. Okay. A lot of people are just happy that they're going after these food companies. Okay. I think that's a lot of people. That's what a lot of people are just kind of thinking about. Do I wish it would stop tomorrow? Yes. But, unfortunately, sometimes we got to be patient about things. Okay. One more comment. Let's see. Let's scroll through here. Let's see if we have any, comment that really pops out here. We'll do Christy again because she was so kind to give me the super chat thanks, or however you call it. She says, this is such good news. Just the beginning. They've been poisoning us for years. I can't stand Big Pharma either. They are all in cahoots. I would like to see all pharmaceutical ads off television as well. Well said, Christy. Hey, thank you guys for commenting. Hope you enjoyed the video. I was just going through the comments like, I haven't done one of these videos yet. All my videos are pretty much about the news. How about I do one on comments? So there you have it, guys. Maybe I'll do one of these in the future. This was kind of an impromptu thing. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, share the video, share my channel if you could do me a huge favor. And I'll see you on the next one.